But let's bring it back to local. The most important thing which happened over the weekend is a large petrol price hike. SK Joshi, Director Finance, BPCL, joins in to talk about that. Morning, Mr. Joshi. If you could start by telling us what is the continuing under recovery on petrol even after the 5 rupee per hike that you have undertaken from Sunday?
Yeah, I mean the total shortfall was around 10 rupees. So we have covered 5 rupees and still it is about 5 rupees under recoveries are there. And
So could you also tell us whether you intend to bridge this gap further over the next 10 days by raising petrol prices further possibly, and also if you're expecting diesel prices to go up somewhat in the next 10 days?
yeah, then this is a tough decision because there are sharp increases which has happened in oil, and as you have observed our previous experience, around Jan, I mean, we steeply increased the prices, almost 3 rupees and 2.5 rupees within a span of month. Then this Middle East crisis came, and then the crude ran away, and we felt that it will come down, but it has not come down, and it required a huge jump. So we have done currently at 5, and crude has really substantially gone up. So if we are waiting for now how crude is behaving, because you are seeing last week a lot of volatility. So we will observe and wait and then take a call.
Mr. Joshi, morning. The Finance Minister indicated that when the EGOM meets, they will discuss a potential 4 rupees increase in diesel. Is that the quantum that oil marketing companies asked for, A? And B, what kind of under-recoveries are you facing on diesel right now?
You see, the diesel currently we are suffering around 14.67 rupees per litre, and then the kerosene it is 28 rupees 21 paise, and LPG per cylinder 327. So the under recoveries are very high, and I mean whatever price increase is welcome.
Just one clarification on petrol, Mr. Joshi. Are you still allowed to book this as an under recovery? I mean, for all practical purposes, the government said this is a free fuel, right? So are you allowed to book it when you discuss your under recoveries?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, one thing is that we are also, looking at this issue of approaching, and we have approached government. But if you remember when the June the price deregulation happened for petrol, government had said that if price goes up by abnormal, they will revisit the issue. Of course, officially nothing has been done, but we have, always our price increases were with lag, and we hope that sometime price will reverse. That has not happened. So this is a tough period. We have approached government, to give some relief, because we are on the verge of closing the accounts for March 11.
On that issue of the March 11 closing of accounts, Mr. Joshi, the government has indicated that it will bear 41,000 crores for FY11. Assuming that upstream pays 33% as well, does it not leave a fairly significant gap for oil marketing companies to the tune of maybe even 15,000 crores?
The government is aware of these facts, and then we have put our numbers in front of them, and then government is currently, discussing these issues, and they will get back to us because we have to close the books also. We have not yet received the cash allocation, cash subsidy from the government in writing, but we also only knew from the press and others that 20,000 additional they have granted. So if you take that 20,000, and hypothetically if 1/3 is picked up by out of 78,000 by upstream, it leaves around 10 to 11,000 to be covered, for which we are making attempts with the government to.
But is the number really 78,000, Mr. Joshi, or does that not include petrol and the way prices moved up in the month of March? Is that number not much larger?
No, see, 78,000 is petrol up to June, and then from June onwards only the 3 products, kerosene, LPG, and this one, diesel.
So adding petrol, how much would it be?
See, this one, as far as BPC is concerned, post-June maybe around 630 crores additional under recovery on petrol. And up to June we had suffered 630.
Okay. We understand that it was also a possibility there would be some changes to LPG considered, Mr. Joshi, such as a cap on the number of cylinders, or maybe some kind of tweaking in terms of price. Anything that the oil marketing companies recommended or you are hoping to see in terms of a change on LPG?
Well, I mean, today the prices covered by the customer prices are very low. I mean, I'll just give you a perspective. The Indian basket cost, the kerosene, it is covering only up to $25, which was the 2002 prices. LPG covers us for the Indian basket up to $60, and HSD after the June increase, it covers up to $79. And petrol now, with this current price rise, it is up to 102. So there are large gaps, and it is not desirable to have this much because pricing anomaly happens. So we are looking forward. We are as much. I mean, we have to wait and see what government does on this, because it's all the three products. The gap which is covered by the customer, and then the subsidy portion is quite large.
Okay. Along with these recommendations in this dialogue you've had with the government for greater reimbursement, Mr. Joshi, have you also considered or recommended that companies like ONGC bear a greater share than was earlier recommended because of how high crude prices have been?
We have tabled our numbers. I mean, government is very well aware of the circumstances, and one thing is that we have also told government that our profits are not sufficient to take care of our capital expenditure going ahead. If it is, I mean, entire burden is put on the marketing companies. Because if you look at last 3 years, all the three companies' average profit is 9,000, IOC, BPCL and HPC. And this kind of, I mean, profit level will not be sufficient to build because already infrastructure is short, and then doing more expenditure, I mean, capital expenditure is a necessity to keep the supply flowing. So government is aware of that, and I'm sure, I mean, till last year government has met our expectations, so this year also they will do something.
Assuming that crude stays around this kind of current price range for another 2 to 3 weeks, Mr. Joshi, would you raise petrol prices again or not?
As I said, I mean, we need to, because this, look at from the customer point of view, it's 5 rupees is a very sharp increase. And then this is taking a call on the short term is always difficult. If you ask me the past periods of 4 years, I'll just give you a perspective. It moved in from 2002 when it was supposed to be deregulated from $20-30 to about $50-60 between around 5, 6 and 6, 7. Thereafter 7, 8 to current period, the crude has been $80 around, except the post-financial crisis, it came Indian basket average $69. And now this, I mean, from 60 to 80, I mean, last 4 years it is average $80, and now it has crossed, I mean, gone beyond 100. So I think this is a structural shift. I mean, from $20-30 to 50-60, now 80. We need to see, I mean, how the medium-term crude, crude behaves. And then certainly we'll take call, because petrol, I mean, we are not being reimbursed. So we'll have to take call. But as you have seen, from June, it was less than 75. We have already brought petrol up to $102. So we need to, I mean, give time space for the customer also.
Thanks, Mr. Joshi, for joining in. That's BPCL with its view on oil. We'll take a quick